Here's a collection video of all my Resident Evil stuff that I could get together. There's one thing I couldn't seem to find. Got a lot of stuff here, so let's start. First thing is issue 4 of the official Resident Evil comic book. Issue 5. It's a RPD Detective Raccoon Police shirt, still brand new. Don't know if you can see that. It's a Resident Evil zombie shirt, which is pretty cool. I got the wall graphics, which I'm probably not going to use. For the Wii, Resident Evil Dark Side Chronicles. Also for the Wii, Resident Evil the Archives. BSAA emblem. I got the Tri-Cell knapsack. For PS2, Resident Evil Dead Aim. Resident Evil Outbreak. Resident Evil Outbreak File 2. The Steelbook of Resident Evil 4. For the 360, Resident Evil Revelations. Can't wait for the second one to come out. Resident Evil 6. The Steelbook of Resident Evil 5. For PS3 is the Golden Edition of Resident Evil 5. PS3 as well, the Steelbook Edition of Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City. These are some of my DVDs. Resident Evil and Resident Evil Apocalypse. Resident Evil Apocalypse. For the computer, Resident Evil 2 Platinum. And the graphic novels, volumes 1 to 4 of Code Veronica. Next is for the Wii, Resident Evil The Umbrella Chronicles, and also for the Wii, Resident Evil 4 the Wii edition. And then I got for the Sega Dreamcast, Resident Evil Code Veronica. For PlayStation 1, Resident Evil Survivor. Resident Evil 3 Nemesis for the PlayStation 1. Resident Evil 2. These ones here are the soundtracks from the first Resident Evil movie. Resident Evil Apocalypse soundtrack. Resident Evil Extinction soundtrack. And Resident Evil Afterlife 3D soundtrack. Next are my strategy guides. Resident Evil Umbrella Chronicles. Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City. Resident Evil 0. Resident Evil. Strategy guide for Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. Resident Evil Code Veronica. Resident Evil Outbreak. Resident Evil 4. Resident Evil 5. The collector's edition of the Resident Evil 6. This here is the art of Resident Evil 5. It's really good. It's got all the artwork in it. Resident Evil Archives and Resident Evil Archives 2. Got the novels Resident Evil Genesis, Resident Evil Apocalypse, Resident Evil Extinction, and Resident Evil Retribution. And then more novels is Resident Evil 0 Hour, Resident Evil The Umbrella Conspiracy, Volume 1, Resident Evil Caliban Cove, Volume 2, Resident Evil City of the Dead, Volume 3, Resident Evil Underworld, Volume 4, Resident Evil Nemesis, Volume 5, Resident Evil Code Veronica, Volume 6. Next on my Blu-rays, Resident Evil Damnation, the Steelbook of Resident Evil Degeneration, Resident Evil Retribution, Resident Evil Afterlife. These are all Blu-ray Steelbook. Resident Evil Extinction, and it's got some Japanese thing with it. I haven't had a chance to look at that. Resident Evil Apocalypse, and the first Resident Evil movie. The next up is my GameCube games. Resident Evil 0, Resident Evil, Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, Resident Evil Code Veronica X, Resident Evil 4. The next things are my action figures. Oh, I got this. It's a little Chris Renfield figure. And a necklace that I believe was the 5th Resident Evil game. First one here is from Resident Evil 4. The chainsaw, I'm not sure how you pronounce it. That's a pretty cool looking figure. Next, also from Resident Evil 4, is Vertigo. From Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City is Vector. From Resident Evil, the 10th anniversary, Jill Valentine. 10th anniversary, Chris Renfield. Crimson Head Zombie. The Hunter. From Resident Evil 4, Ada Wong. Resident Evil 4 Krauser. Resident Evil 4 Leon S. Kennedy. Resident Evil 4 Tyrant. Resident Evil Hunk. Resident Evil The Liquor. Then I have from Code Veronica Nosferatu. From Code Veronica, Claire Renfield. Resident Evil Archives, Jill Valentine. Resident Evil Archives, The Hunter. Resident Evil 5, Chris Renfield. Resident Evil 5, Sheva. Also from Resident Evil 5 is the Executioner. And the last thing I got is from N64 is Resident Evil 2. If you like this video, please leave a thumbs up, a comment, and subscribe. Thank you.